Welcome to Talk of the Town right here on C19. I'm your host, Jamie Henderson, and we are celebrating 25 years right here on Talk of the Town. We have an excellent guest here that I'm excited to introduce you to. Her name is Caitlin McNeely. Welcome, Caitlin. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here in the new studio space. It's beautiful.
Well, we're glad to have you back right here, and the opportunity to get to see the new space here. This time it's a little bit different, though. We're going to talk about, you have a new bookstore right here in Cleveland County, Box Turtle Books.
That's
Is
right.
That right? Yeah. All right. So tell me a little bit about Box Turtle Books.
Yeah, sure thing. So last time I was on, I was here representing the Uptown Shelby Association. I left that job in very capable hands back in August and started working full-time to get my bookstore up and running. And we have opened in Uptown Shelby. We're next to Pioneer Coffee, formerly Lily Bean, and just down the block from Pfeiffer Cafe, from Dragonfly Wine Bar, the Antique Shop, Rollover Pets. We're in such a great little walking block. We get to see the Court Square right out our door. Beautiful. And it was a really exciting process to get everything going. It started out kind of just as a project to see what does a business owner or entrepreneur go through to get their business started, especially in the Uptown Shelby district, and how can the Uptown Shelby Association help business owners through that process? So working with our director, working with members of our board while I'm doing this, kind of on the side. And as I got further into the project, I realized it's doable. And I think that's kind of the thing that holds a lot of would-be entrepreneurs back, is just getting over that, kind of pinnacle of, okay, I've got everything done, but can I actually take that next step? And I had some amazing support from the Small Business Center here, from folks at Mountain BizWorks who have worked with Cleveland County, with the Uptown Shelby Association. They are a community funding nonprofit, so they help startups get started, essentially. And, once you get past that point of like, okay, I can do this, I've got the support I need, I've got the information I need, we really just kicked it into high gear to get Box Turtle Books open. So we are an all-new bookstore. I also sell some gifts, some games. We've got puzzles, board games, stickers, things you would expect to find in a downtown bookstore. And we carry everything from children's board books all the way through to fiction, nonfiction. Romantasy is huge right now. Romance, of course. Thrillers are big. We're selling a lot of thrillers at the store, graphic novels. And it's been really exciting. It's a great sort of demographic group that's coming in. Everybody, young and old, has come by. And it's been so special to see the community's reaction to us being there, getting to occupy the space that we're in next to the coffee shop, next to the wine bar. People come in with their cups of whichever kind and just seem excited to have a bookstore and to have that community space again. It's really special.
What a wonderful story. I love hearing that you took advantage of the resources that are available here in Cleveland County, some of which are right here on the campus, the Small Business Center. We recently had the director, Stephen Lancaster, here on the show and talked to us a little bit about that Small Business Center. So I'm glad to see that you were able to use that resource as well. So I love the name, Box Turtle Books. Yes. You've got to tell me, where did this name come from?
So the short answer is that I just love turtles. But the long answer is that when I was trying to come up with a name, selfishly, I wanted something that had really good SEO, so that when you Googled the name Box Turtle Books, I wanted us to come up. I didn't want you to find results from, Oregon or Maine or somewhere else. I wanted us to have a really unique name. But the more that I dug into it, and I will say I had such a long list. I had family names. I had, the sort of like noun names that you see in a lot of places, and trying to figure out what really encompassed the spirit that I wanted the bookstore to have. And I love turtles, and what I love about turtles is that they carry their home with them. So wherever they go, they are home, they are cozy, they're protected, and I wanted people who come into Box Turtle Books to experience that same feeling. I wanted it to feel like a little piece of home for them. I remember I grew up in Forest City, and Fireside Books was my childhood bookstore in a great little A-frame building near the Tri-City Mall. My parents would take me there on weekends, and it was just heaven on earth for me as a child who, you know, loved the Boxcar Children and the Magic Tree House and the Warrior series with the cats, one of my favorite all-time children's series. And I just love those memories so much. They were so important to me, and even now in my 30s, I still hold on to those and think about how special they are to me, and to be able to bring something like that to the next generation of children here in Cleveland County, and even for visitors passing through, is just so important and so exciting to me to see how it has inspired kids and really enabled them, I think, to read and to pick out books on their own. I get so excited when parents will bring kids in and they will say, okay, you can pick out your book. I'm gonna look in my section. You can check out the kids section. And I love that our store enables that little bit of independence, because I think that's great for kids to get to experience that, and for parents to, you know, get to bring their kids and they feel safe and comfortable in there. It's just such a good feeling, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've inspired some kids I've seen recently. You might have a little bit of competition.
Yep.
My great nephew has been in the store, which is now his new favorite store. He thinks he has to go every time his sister goes to dance uptown.
Yes.
So every time they go to dance, he thinks he has to go to the store. But he has went home and created his own bookstore, set it up, and has some books for sale. And I keep asking him how many books he sold. So I think it's wonderful that you are, you know, they are getting that independence, and you're inspiring others to be an entrepreneur. So we might have to hook him up with the Small Business Center.
Absolutely, I think we may.
And they had shared that on social media. You all have a social media as well?
We do. We are on Facebook and Instagram. We're Box Turtle Books on both. On Facebook, you can find us by searching Box Turtle Books. On Instagram, it's at Box Turtle Books, all one word. And we try to post things that are new in, events coming up. We'll try to reshare sweet clips and comments and things like that. And that's been a great place to you know, be a little bit silly, have a little fun. I think, especially having been an English major, I think sometimes reading can feel a little bit serious or a little bit stuffy, and I want it to be fun for people, because the more you enjoy it, the more you're going to get out of it, and hopefully the more you're going to read too.
And social media is a very important piece of, you know, small business nowadays and getting the word out. So, and I heard you mention the search engine optimization.
Yep.
Did you learn that in the process, or was that something that you already knew going into this?
It was. I learned a lot more about it, I will say, in the process. So, working with the Uptown Shelby Association and other jobs previously, I had worked in marketing or adjacent to marketing. So there was some of that there, but when you are the small business owner, the sole entrepreneur, you have to wear a lot of hats. And they do, they warn you about that in the Small Business Center, which I was really thankful for, because I think it's one of those things you don't really realize until you are in there and you are juggling all of the different hats, and they are very different sometimes. The Caitlin who sits and has to go through inventory and reorder and figure out, you know, what's coming in, what's going out, or what's not going out is very different from the Caitlin who has to sit down and say, okay, we need to schedule our posts, we need to make sure they're engaging and fun and reach the people that we want them to reach. And I just really can't say enough good stuff about the Small Business Center for helping to prepare me for those different facets of entrepreneurship. So really amazing resource that we have just so close by. And even working with the Uptown Shelby Association, we would talk about, I think, maybe not enough people realize that it's there, or how helpful that it can be to them. So yeah, can't say enough good stuff about those folks.
Yeah, perfect location right there, right next to a coffee shop, and everything's just really close. I did get the opportunity to go in and visit, and wonderful parking right out front. Was able to park right out front, walk right in. You had a good crowd in there when I was in there, and a good mixture. Several kids, that were over there enjoying. But your variety of items in there, I was really surprised. I guess I was expecting to see just books, be in a bookstore, but I was able to get some fun activities for Valentine's Day to give to my nieces and nephew, and also some gift certificates. So I was able to pick up some gift certificates while I was in there. But I saw you had cards. I'm a big card lover.
Yes, love a good card, good stationery. We've gotten some great little letter writing sets in. That's been so exciting. One book that we have not been able to keep in stock lately is The Correspondent, and I have more on the way if anybody's looking for it. And the book is told through a series of letters and correspondence between people, and talking among other booksellers in my network. I think that book has really inspired people to pick up letters and cards again. So lots of us in the area, I should say, I guess regionally, have been trying to stock more of that because people have been asking for it, which I think is really special. There's just something so sweet about getting a handwritten card or spending time to write a letter and putting that in the mail. It's nice to have some of that like analog feeling back, I think, in life. It's just so much more special than sending that text message.
I agree. I have recently started my address book. Years ago we had an address book, and so I've recently started putting my addresses back in there and purchasing cards, and I have my Valentine cards ready to go out, and I have a friend that'll send me something and she'll draw in it, and I love that. I just love that. I don't ever get to see her, so it does kind of add a personal touch to it, and give me something to smile about other than getting bills in the mail. Right?
Finally, good mail.
So is there a book that you talked about, The Correspondence, and how that's a popular book? Is there a book that maybe inspired you as a kid or when you were coming through?
One book that I always return to, just in my thoughts, and a book that I try to really live out as much as I can, is The Giving Tree by Shel Silverstein. And lots of folks know him from writing Light in the Attic, Where the Sidewalk Ends, the kind of silly, kooky kids poetry, and The Giving Tree, really popular book from my childhood. Now if I read it, I cry. It gets me every time, that last little image. But essentially the story of a boy and a tree who sort of grow up alongside each other, and the boy is sort of the kind of a taker in the relationship. He takes parts of the tree, he uses parts of the tree, he eats the fruit from the tree. At one point he chops the tree down to use the wood. But the tree is always there and always provides what it needs for him. And you don't really get that kind of moment, I guess, of closure or of thankfulness until the end. But I think sometimes in life you don't always get that, but it's still important to be present for people who need you, and to, give parts of yourself to people who need it. And they may not realize when to be thankful, but they will be, and it should be more about what can I give and what does that do for me, instead of should I give something in hopes of getting something back or getting that thanks back. And has really kind of helped me, think about my relationships, interpersonal relationships with people. And I just think it's a sweet message and a sweet book, and I loved it as a kid, and it's just so much more meaningful now, I think, as I've grown up and worked in and with the community. It's really cool.
Was that book the first book on your book order when you made
your first? It definitely was.
Okay, well, we need to go to break. Don't go too far. When we come back, we're going to hear about some other books that made that book order.
Yes.
Want change? Like things the way they are? Use your rights and vote. Take a stand for your beliefs. Why wouldn't you vote? Don't make excuses. It's not every day you can take a stand on community, state, and national issues. Think your vote won't change anything? In 2008, only 3,632 votes separated the presidential race in the state of Missouri. 3,632. Every vote counts. Speak up. Only you can silence your voice. Go to your local polling place and be heard on this election day.
We always have had
That's
a
true.
certain courtesy to other people upon their retirement or somebody's passing.
Well, I got something nice to say about our retirement.
Well, we're not.
Good riddance.
I wish that you.
First, he put giant flagpoles on the White House lawn like it was a Buc-ee's, and then he cemented over the Rose Garden. Then he turned the Oval Office into a place that looks like a New Orleans cat house.
Well, I'm sure President Obama evaluated both candidates and went with the best one, better one.
Yeah, one of them
But
had
I
a D
was-
by her name.
Well, one cannot help but wonder why. Betsy, one possibility would be that the Hurricanes are now afraid to enter the newly named Gulf of America while Trump's in the White House.
I understand. I know it's not your typical resume.
Okay, well,
But candidate. But I've been working double shifts just to pay for books. I've been raising my 2 little brothers. I'm determined, driven, motivated. Isn't that what you're looking for?
Look beyond the resume and discover new ways to develop great talent at gradsoflife.org.
Welcome back to C19. I'm Jamie Henderson, your host, and we're celebrating 25 years of C19, Talk of the Town. So we're excited to keep celebrating those and maybe celebrate 25 more years in 25 more years. Today we've got Caitlin McNeely here, and she's our owner of Box Turtle Books right here in Shelby. And before the break, we were talking about her favorite book and what inspired her, The Giving Tree. Is that right? And how that book made the first order on the Box Turtle Books order. So what were some other books that were guaranteed to make that first order?
One thing I really wanted to focus on, especially because we are such a, I feel like, close-knit community and a very supportive community, I wanted to look at local and regional authors. We get a lot of questions about that, people looking for that, and even people who have either traditionally published or self-published their own books will come into the store or will contact us about us possibly carrying their books, having events for them. And that's been really cool to meet writers in the community and the variety of writers in the community that we have. I have spoken with people who have written sort of educational children's books up through folks like Ron Rash, who is a very celebrated Cleveland County area local and amazing writer. Some other North Carolina writers I have in there, and folks who even write, you know, the fun, spicy romance novels, that kind of thing that are local to the area, and getting to, you know, read a little bit about that history, learn about those people, and get to welcome them into the shop and just into the community in general has been really cool.
So are you planning to have any events, like where you have one of those local writers in?
Definitely, definitely. Our first one is coming up on Valentine's Day with Haley Cook. She is a local romance writer who lives in Cleveland County. She writes romance with a need for speed, so these very fun, high action romance novels. Her first series is based around the NASCAR world, so drivers especially, but also, you know, other folks who work in that world and are close to that, people in the press, people in the industry. And then her next series that she's working on involves stunt pilots, so think like Blue Angels, so very high octane, exciting, really, really cool stuff with a little bit of romance in. So she's coming on February 14th, Valentine's Day, from 3 to 5 p.m. She'll be signing books, talking about her books, and we're gonna have a sip and shop at that time too. So I'm gonna have some sweets and treats from Daniel at the Bread Lab, who's a local baker. He works out of the Pioneer Kitchen at Pioneer Coffee. And I think that's gonna be really special to welcome folks in, help share Haley's novel with everybody, and just have a fun sort of cute, girly Valentine's Day, and early enough that you can still go out to dinner afterwards.
It sounds like a good Galentine's
Definitely,
time.
definitely.
Yeah.
Bring your gal pals, come out. I've got some sparkling pink lemonade. We'll have a little bit of Prosecco, and it'll be very cute.
Yeah, that sounds like a good time.
Yeah.
Or even I guess you could take a Valentine's date out as well.
Absolutely.
While you pick out plenty of books
Definitely.
as a gift.
We have chairs for the husbands a lot of times.
Oh, okay.
And a lot of husbands like to browse for books for sure, but I've had a couple who have come in and they're like, can I sit in this chair? I'm like, you can sit in that chair.
Yeah.
That is there for you. You're welcome. And I love that, to have a comfy space for people to feel comfortable and to hang out a little bit. It's awesome.
It is very comfy in there. The decor, is that all you? Did you put all that together?
Yeah, that's been a lot of fun. I wanted it to be whimsical, I feel like is the best word. When we had our windows decorated for the grand opening, my mom helped me with those. And I had a young lady came in and said she walked by and saw the windows, and the first word that came to her mind was whimsical. And I'm like, that's exactly what we're going for. I want it to be a little bit silly, to be a little bit fun. I think that's attractive to kids anyway, and helps get them excited about it. And as I've gotten older, I think one thing that is consistently missing in a lot of cases in adult life is whimsy and fun. So to get to sprinkle a little bit of that in is really special.
Yeah, those colors are awesome, the orange and the pink, and they look really good together.
Yes, thank you. Orange is my favorite. I've had a lot of people ask. Orange is my favorite color. I love it. It's just so bright and perky and brings out the colors in the box turtle too.
It does. And I noticed that you have like the colorful books as well.
Yes.
So they're not just the regular books that, they're the ones that look really nice on the shelf.
Yes. Definitely. We have gotten in a lot of special editions. One thing that's really popular, especially in the romantasy genres, are the sprayed or painted page edges. Those are so beautiful. We have so many of those in. And I almost hate to say it, but they make me want to shelve them backwards because I want people to see how pretty the pages are, but then you can't see what the book is. So I'm still trying to figure that one out. But
those would make a great gift.
Definitely. For Valentine's Day, we've got, I'm starting to get things in for Mother's Day for people who are preparing early, some sweet cards and things like that too. So we want to be, as much as we can, kind of one of your stops on your gift journey through Uptown Shelby.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah.
So with the upcoming event on Valentine's Day, do you have anything else scheduled after that? Or?
We don't have anything on the calendar yet. We'll actually be closed at the end of February for the American Booksellers Conference.
Oh.
So I'm really excited about that. Get to go to Pittsburgh for the first time and network with other booksellers, publishers, that kind of thing. And I feel like it's a great time for me to get there because I've started opening those direct accounts with publishers, so I'll finally get to meet the folks that I've been emailing back and forth with, and we'll get some advanced copies of books to read and see what we want to carry, and hopefully get to meet some authors. And LeVar Burton from Reading Rainbow is the keynote speaker.
Oh,
and
wow.
I have been fangirling a little bit. I've been trying to keep it contained, but I am so excited to see LeVar Burton in the flesh.
I can hear that tune right now, too. Yeah, well, that'll be fun. We'll have to have you back on so you can talk about that experience. I know you did a lot of research prior to opening the bookstore. Are there times during the year where you're anticipating your sales to be higher than other times?
Definitely. So bookstores, nice thing about a bookstore, we've had bookstores around for a long time, so there's lots and lots of data out there, and the American Booksellers Association, which I'm a member of, has been tracking that data in a special survey that they call the Abacus. And it was instrumental in helping me with my business plan and even to get funding once I got to that stage, because it gave me the hard number data that I needed to show to lenders, like, hey, this is a viable, proposition, we can do this. And included in that is sort of your up times and your down times. So typically January, February is a little bit slower for bookstores because you're coming off the holiday rush. But I think because we're still so new, we've had a really, really fantastic January, February. And as much as we've had to close for a couple of days or open late for a couple of days, the weather has kind of helped us, because I've had folks who have come in and said, I need to get a couple of books in case the power goes out, or so I have something to do when I can't leave the house. So definitely folks stocking up. And we expect to see some more activity around like back to school season, people getting books or gifts for back to school, and then coming back into the holiday season. So those gift giving times of year for sure. And we're hoping to, in the leaner months, be able to schedule events and bring in some of those local authors or have book clubs and things like that happen. So to keep people excited, to keep people reading, and keep us there.
You know, it put me, when I was in there visiting and shopping, it put me in the mind of when I was a kid and I would go to the book fairs that they had at school, because not only did you have books, but you had all those other things too. And it really put me in the mind. And stickers, fun stickers to look through as well. Yeah.
Definitely, definitely.
So brand new. What are you thinking, and what are you most excited about for the upcoming year?
That's a good question. So my current project right now, we are working on the back, probably about a third of the building. So where we're located, it's an old 1910s building, and we're in the middle between Glow Salon and Pioneer Coffee. We're the sort of the cream in the sandwich cookie. And it's a pretty narrowish but long space, and so we've got a great back room that I'm working to get set up into like a reading and meeting space.
Oh, wow.
So if book clubs want to meet back there, if community clubs, things like that want to come, I've had folks reach out about Mahjong. I've had somebody ask about having a birthday party there, and so to be able to provide that space for community members who need a spot to go. I know a lot of book clubs, when it's your turn, you have to host. You may not want to bring people home. You may want to have somewhere else you can go. So having that set up that's comfortable and cozy, I'm really looking forward to that.
You know, small businesses are the backbone of Cleveland County, and so we're very thankful that you've chosen Cleveland County to come in and give us this bookstore. How can the community support you best?
Definitely just come by and see us. You can shop, but sometimes an encouraging word is all I need in a day. And we have a lot of folks who will come in and, you know, we'll ask, do you need help finding anything? They'll say they're just browsing. And I think that's one of the joys of a bookstore, is it's a great spot to browse. We have a lot of different things to look at. It does kind of have that book fair experience that I love so much. And, you know, maybe you buy something, maybe you don't, but to, you know, just be active in the space, visit our neighbors. For every $100 spent in a local community, if you spend it with a small business, about 60 to 70 of those dollars stay in the community versus around $40 if you shop at a big box store. And that's because small businesses, more than big, you know, corporations, are supporting things like Little League teams, supporting elementary schools. We right now are working with Jefferson Elementary for kids who read 1 million words. They get $10 in Turtle Bucks that they can bring to the store. And that's just sort of a donation on our part that they get to use towards a book. And it's been so exciting to see these kids come in who are like, I have my coupon, I have my book picked out. And to, you know, get to sponsor those things. You're not seeing your Targets and your Walmarts and things like that doing that. So to be supportive of small businesses, visit our neighbors, you know, plan a day in Uptown Shelby. There's so many cool businesses and business owners there. And, you know, we live here, we work here, we care about the community, and we appreciate the support.
Well, we appreciate you, and thank you for coming on today.
Absolutely.
So, thank you, Caitlin, for coming on. We've enjoyed hearing about Box Turtle Books, and we hope that you all can make it out and maybe pick up a book or two, or maybe some gift cards from the store for some upcoming Valentine or Galentine's gifts that you have, or some cards. Yep, because we're getting into the note writing and card giving, right? Yep. So you want to get on board with that. So thank you again for watching today. If you have any upcoming stories that you would like to hear, please email us at info@c19.tv. Thank you again for watching, and we'll see you next week.